Into game number 2. Game number 2, people. We've got Canada A. That is the letter A, not EH. That is Hera, Chris, Slam, and Mentalist, a true group of badass players, playing against Tim, CL, 5CM, and Whoop. These guys are going to be Huns, Byzantines, Mongols, and Celts on one side. But wait, before we get too deep into it, we have to see what in the world is going on this map. Lots of laming going to be going on. Players starting in the center of the map. They're going to be really close to one another, stealing each other's resources, almost certainly. Turkeys on this map instead of sheep. Are we watching? What is this? Is this mega random? Just a weird looking map to me. Got to be honest with you. I don't know what map this is. But let me quickly turn the chat off, and we will rock and roll. Killer B doesn't know all the maps, guys. And he talks to himself in the third person. Anyway, early on, while the laming starts to pop off, let's talk again about Huns, Byzantines, Mongols, and Celts versus Mongols, Mayans, Spanish, and Huns. So we've got Mayans on one team and Celts on the other. That is the major difference maker. Arrangements of civs, I'm not even going to bother with it because everybody's so damn close to each other. They're going to really need to... They're going to really need to basically be ready for a dark and feudal age war on all parts of this map. Players look like they're going to need to chop through this ring of wood in order to get out. We've got, let's see, we've got the Celts player here, Mentalist. He's opposite CL. On the other side, we'll see Tim versus Hera. Hera at the moment is dealing with, actually, he's got a couple of Tim's villagers just super close to his TC. Everybody's pushing deer and powering through on food at the moment, sending villagers all the way across the map to take wood on the edges. Gonna have to wall in those wood lines, I would think. Scouts would just absolutely decimate a lumber camp that's this far away from the TC, at least one would think. But a really chaotic map, I'd have to say. I mean, this is a chaotic one to try to cast. How do we make sense of all of this at the same time? We will find out. Mentalist is looming up here pretty early on, I would say. 12 villager point at the moment. He's got his vills out on the wood line. 4 vills for Mentalist. Probably 4 all around the map for everybody. When you get so late to wood, you're going to need a 4th vill, I think, to keep things going. Chris is Byzantines. Rip Frantic. Yeah, Chris here playing in the green as Biz. The Byzantine player is going to be, well, he's going to be in the pocket on this side next to his buddy Mentalist. Slam on the other side. In red is going to be Mongols. Mongols are pretty good civ for this map because of the wild game gather bonus, but Tim's going to have Mongols as well. Both sides will have this, and we will continue to roll our way through. Killer, I sent you a PM. I can't see the PM, Milmano, unfortunately. Can't see the PM without tabbing out of the game at the moment. Send me a message on WhatsApp. Let's see. You want a co-caster for an hour? Yeah, we should do that. We should absolutely do that. What I'm going to do is pause, and I'm going to put Discord on incredibly quickly, and then we'll let Milmano come in at his own leisure. Put Discord on here. Sorry about this, guys. Will only be a couple seconds delay. And we will just jump into the casting channel. And I will be there with Milmano. Hello, sir.
Oh, hello, sir.
Excuse me.
I'm sorry for disturbing your stream.
No, absolutely.
I was like, oh shit, son. I was like, Canada A, China Frantic, came back from work, got an hour before I got to go out. Fuck, got to get something done.
Are you in the game already?
I am already in the game. I'm at 6:30, by the way, wherever you're at.
Okay, great. I'm speeding my way up to real time. So let's
okay. Great. Okay, we'll do that then.
Catch up to real time and try to make some sense out of this. Pretty chaotic game going on live. That voice you're hearing is the man himself, Milmano. Thanks for joining me, dude.
Oh, no, thank you, my friend. I don't want to be so like, Killer, come on, let's go. I was like, I'm going to try to be subtle about this. But no, that didn't work. So, anyway.
Yeah, I'm glad you joined me. Feudal Age coming for Slam. Everybody else is looming up. What are we looking at here on this map? It's absolute chaos.
A complete clusterfuck is what it's going to be. I mean, it's Chaos Pit. Since when is it ever going to be normal? Like,
yeah,
it's great. I mean, is it a home map? This is the home map for Canada?
This is going to be Canada's home map. Yep.
Damn. Wow, that's a bold pick. I mean, anyway.
Yeah.
They must have a plan. Must have a plan for it. I mean, Especially as civs, like Byzantine here from Chris is super interesting as a choice. Do they get free pick? I don't know the rules anymore. Like, is it free pick for them, or is it
Yep, they're
like
picking
banned
here.
from certain games? Okay.
Tell me why you think Byzantine's an interesting pick.
Well, they can go for a decently fast Imperial, so I'm probably thinking that Chris might want to go for a fast. And also, the fact that trash is going to be quite useful, especially the fact that all the gold's on the outside to begin with. So I think it's either two routes. They can go for this sort of heavy feudal, sort of like skirm, spear, whatever you want to throw out the kitchen sink and tow, or that sort of fast Imperial, because it's so cheap to do so. Maybe get a small sling behind it as well. It's just unusual to see Byzantines like this, but I'm kind of looking forward to it. Celts make sense, of course, with the wood chopping bonus. Mongols always make sense. Huns make sense. China's team is very standard. Like this is like expected mine, Spanish, Huns, and Mongols. You could probably trade out the Spanish for like maybe Celts or maybe if you want to go for Koreans, that's something. But Spanish is really good as well for the building. And holy cow, you seeing like 5 CM, whoever he's called. He's going for that. How many villages he's got forward? Holy cow.
Yeah, 5 CM's coming forward. Dave was giving us a hint that the Canadian team went versus Finland. 4 Canadians went full feudal aggression, so we might see that again. So maybe you're on the right track here with Canada's plan. Villagers coming forward for Whoop as well. Archery range is down. Spearman coming out. So he's ready to go into some skirms, I would think, and into some spears. At the moment, villagers coming forward to tower up this stone on the front for the orange player Whoop. He's going to tower his opponent's stone. Just a couple of little stone piles here and there for each player. Not a whole lot to work with, so controlling those in the early game is really important. Is anybody really putting effort down to chop through the wood line? Yeah, a couple of these players do have quite a few villagers out trying to chop through. Tower for the moment is going to be denied, but it will eventually go up. Slam here getting chased away by the orange spears. And in the end, it is going to be a really useful tower there, I think, for Whoop. Gonna annoy Hera and Slam.
I'm just watching the fight down at 5 CM. It looks like Mentos took out that tower. Suffered their casualties, but this backup from Chris is so good. Like the skirm and the spear combo. Disrupt the villagers. Maybe try and pick a couple off if they can. There are now 2 towers being built here by 5 CM, one behind the other. But like one's going to go up for sure. Actually, in fact, both are going to go up, and Mentos now has to stop his own this being created. This is just Spanish, man. You throw 10 bills forward, there's just nothing you can do about it currently.
Yeah, and these towers are great because they're in series, they can protect each other, and they're going to take away 2 different stone piles on the map. They're going to protect them, and here comes another tower from the blue player. Spanish seems like a great choice here. Not having Spanish, conversely, seems like a pretty bad idea in this case, but it is basically a tower and trash war all around the map. Of course, nobody's cut through yet except for the teal player Mentalist, who just made it through. He's going to make it through the wood line first, I believe, and he's going to find his way to some gold, I would think. Green player Chris sending trash out to the back of CL's eco. He's going to start harassing there with skirms. And it does look like Mentalist will have a pretty good advantage in time and how long he'll be able to take gold before his opponents.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. This is a really interesting full feudal here from the Canadian team. I'm not too sure how it's paying out for them currently. Slam's got those scouts. It's going to start moving straight through towards 5CM's base. Backed up with Chris here with his skirm and spear combo. It's definitely a good opportunity. That's stone up to the north. Oh, looks like 5CM's aware of this though. That's good thinking there. Like he's on top of it all. You should be able to get back and get safe. So they're gonna go around probably. These scouts need to get something done because haven't seen them kill a Vil yet. Like Slam's KD 0 across the board, and he needs to get something done.
Slam will run into the northern part of the base of Whoop. He'll kill a spearman. He'll kill a couple villagers here for sure. If he focuses on the outer villagers, he should be able to get a few of those. But I don't know. Yeah, I think they are going to get 3 Vils in the end, so that's a pretty good payoff, I would say. Slam losing a few more scouts than he needed to TC Arrowfire. Mentalist on his way to castle is actually pretty heavily onto stone, so he's thinking about a castle first, I would guess, or maybe some defensive towers. More towers creeping in on his economy from 5CM. And it is Chaos Pit. It's a chaotic cast here, guys. Hang with us. It's Killer B, and I'm joined by Mr. Milmano himself, who's jumping on here for a game or two, I suppose. And we're trying to make sense out of this crazy game. Are you seeing what's happening with the orange player? He's got just villagers all up, all up in Slam's base.
Yeah, this is just chaos. Oh my god, it's really interesting that the difference between the two teams. Like, I feel like the Chinese team have been focusing more on the towers front, and yet on the Canadian team have been focusing a little bit more on the the unit-based front. They're making towers themselves, but I think it's more of a defensive manner rather than an aggressive point of view. But we'll see what happens right now. A bit of a fight between well, orange and green right here, backed up by Slam Scouts. As long as they get good positioning, it should be fine. And yeah.
It's a great fight, I think, for the Canadian team because the skirmishers here are clearing up the spearmen. That's giving Slam Scouts impunity to basically kill villagers. A couple of vills going down there, a couple of skirms going down as well. Pretty nice little combination, pretty nice little bit of damage. Mentalist is the player in the Castle Age. He's going to TC 2 times outside of the ring, so he's in a pretty good spot, but his initial town center is basically GG. It's surrounded by towers.
Oh, are you seeing this right now between teal and blue? What the flip is going on? Like, what?
Yeah, Mentalist.
How the hell? Oh, he's stuck for the left. Oh. Mentalist he was trying to wall his opponent in and then tower it, but he got caught out, and this is just a complete. Oh my god.
Yeah, the scores right now would say that the Canadian team is winning. I think that's true. Tower does go up for the blue player, though. 5CM got that tower up.
Yeah, he's trying to palisade it in, but I don't think he's going to be able to do so. There's A, too many vills, and B, that female vill's an absolute champ by just standing her ground, saying no. But anyway, it looks like he might lose 1 or 2 vills here, but I feel this is not good right now for blue. He's going to lose a lot of villagers unless he can get out. He's just going to keep walling these villagers in and build more towers, but like, I wouldn't give a crap if I was Mentalist right now. I would just take this tower down, try and pick off those vills if possible. Oh, look at that. Oh, there is Slam Scouts. Hello.
Slam is so close. Blue player trying to quick wall up the side. He'll have it walled for a moment. Slam can punch through this pretty quickly, though, and get in. Mentalist, who has been in the Castle Age for a while, is starting to stonewall off the edges of his map, just building up villager numbers, not doing much else. Purple player has also slid out into the outer part of the ring, does not have town centers there, but is Mayans and is taking gold. Great player. Tim has also punched through the hole, and he's going to head to the north and try to take over some territory. Hera's out there as well, so everybody's making their way outside of the ring. The big question is, how much will the blue player lose in the end here? And is his inability to damage Mentalist going to basically spell GG for his team?
We'll see. Interesting start from CL. He's going to build a castle to begin with first. He's not going to put some TC down initially. He's going to get those plumed archers out and get them rolling. But how effective these archers are going to be? Because, well, Byzantines from Chris here, lots of skirms already out in the field. And again, lots of towers. So he has to be very mobile and actually pretty positioning-wise, has to be on the ball for this to work. But it will secure, his end of the base where his first TC is, or his only TC is, and might provide a small, solid footing, and may be able to try and turn this into more of an aggressive move. Maybe get a siege workshop out and start pressuring Mensa's TC. But we'll see.
Yeah, I think that Dave is saying the same thing in the chat. I mean, look at Chris's military count, almost 40 military right now. He's just spamming out that Byzantine trash, and he's doing a pretty good job to do some damage and some annoyance all around the map. Purple player. CL has gone up to castle. He's got a castle up, and he's got plumes coming out. Just a few of those at the moment. Slam Scouts are still active and still killing villagers, which is an absolute testament to him. But yeah, for the moment, the Castle Age players are not making huge plays. They're just trying to solidify a little piece of the ground. For instance, Mentalist just dropping some TCs, building up villager count. Purple player doing some stonewalling. Mentalist doing some stonewalling. Looks like in the end, Slam will grab yet another villager. He's built a lot of scouts, but he's done a whole lot of good damage with them. So he will help his teammate wall up that corner. Pretty crazy game, Milmano. Who's winning right now?
Build-wise, it looks like China's a little bit ahead, but we have to remember Hera and Slam are now clicking up to the Castle Age, so that might be a small reason as to why that's the case. But like, Chris is pulling it. I love what Chris is doing with these skirms and spears. It's just so disruptive. Like, there's not much I don't think that China can do really in this now. There's so much going on. There's plenty of scouts that can work, but now I've got a crap ton of spears in your direction, so he has to run away. It reminds me of a guy, Chris Pelham. I don't know if you know him. When he plays Byzantines, like on the flank of Arabia, he does this sort of very much the exact same thing. Just spam, skirm, and spear out to your flank, and also it makes it really difficult for the pocket as well. Just funny, that's all. But it's working. It's definitely working. That's for sure. So far, but he has to get up to Castle Age, and he is actually as well. So this is even better. Like he's able to get up to Castle Age, and he's spamming this amount of units. Like he's up ahead of what? Who else hasn't clicked up yet? Like Whoop hasn't clicked up yet. You know.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Chris is going to get up. He's going to start upgrading these units, and he's going to be in great shape.
Or 5CM.
I'm actually looking at an interesting part of the map right now. Tim's got some scouts. He's going to deny a town center from Hera. He's actually got a little bit of uncontested time. First couple knights will come up from Hera and clean this up. That TC will go down. But yeah, Tim has not been... He's not been that major of a factor, I'd say, early on. I'm also watching the blue player building even more towers in Mentalist jurisdiction. Are you seeing that?
Oh my God.
Dropping more and more towers. I don't know. Finding his way through here somehow and just trying to keep the pressure on to Mentalist. He's just all in. He's balls deep into this strategy at the moment. That's
a mistake there by Mentalist to not seal that gap off. And now it's going to allow an opportunity for these plumed archers to get away into the back end of their of Canada's bases. Really, now it's going to be. So this is a really important point right now because Canada has to make sure that this area is contained. Otherwise, it's just going to be a problem consistently for the rest of it. More towers, more units coming through, like plumed archers. It also provides opportunity as well for villagers from the Chinese team to go through there and build things like siege workshops and whatnot. So that's a bad mistake from Mentalist because I don't think that tower's in range. No fletching from 5CM. That's definitely not 8 tiles, so he could have definitely sealed it off.
Yeah, really tough break, and here come those plumes. At the moment, +2 damage, +1 defense, 8 plumes total roaming into the back of this eco. With any good micro or good luck, I think CL can do a lot of damage. He's going to be countered by a Mangonel from Mentalist, but plumes are pretty beefy and pretty fast, so it is going to be tricky for Mentalist to get a great shot in. Mentalist, though, at the moment, lobbing in a pretty good amount of arrow fire from his TC. Looks like Yellow Knights from Hera could actually do some serious damage to Tim, but Tim is stonewalled up on his side of the ring. So everybody's broken their way through the ring and has stonewalled in their own base. And the only inconsistency to that is that this blue player 5CM has punched through with his teammate. Those plumes have not done a ton of meaningful damage yet, but they are roaming around, and they can continue to come through this gate because the blue player has made a really great foothold with towers to keep that door open.
Yeah. Okay, now Magnol's coming out from Mentalist. So this should help a little bit here. Again, that faster firing speed actually makes it a little bit easier to deal with those plumed archers. So then, a bit like the Korean thing as well, that extra range. It's just a bit like, oh well, I can't stick around for too long. So otherwise I will get hit eventually. So now, look, 5CM built a stable pretty much on the outskirts of Mentalist base. Thanks to his tower. That tower will go down because it's too close to TC, but doesn't matter. I don't think it really matters too much anymore.
Yeah. At the moment, I'm watching Hera's army. Hera's got bloodlines, +1, +2, good amount of knights. They're heading to the south, and I wonder if he's coming to help his teammate out because I think they do need to close up the hole in their ring. I think they're a bit ahead in the grand scheme, but this hole is kind of actually equalizing the game. Couple knights from Slam will come through, start to poke at these towers, +2 defense for Slam, so he can take a lot of arrow fire. Blue player is still there repairing, though, and here come the plumes from CL. So CL and 5CM playing really well together to keep this hole open, and they're giving their team a fighting chance. I think the Chinese team is behind in general, but, you know, Tim is now up to the Castle Age building his own knights, countering some of the trash that Chris has put out on the map. Chris's army for the moment is nowhere to be really seen. He's got 48 units. They're kind of spread here, hither and thither, but at the moment, yeah, I guess he's actually in the back of Tim's eco doing some raiding.
Yeah, it's doing some raid, but he kind of needs those ballistics, man. It's a bit unfortunate, but anyway, he's going to get potentially doubled here. Looks like Whoop's coming in with +1/+1. Yeah, with a good number of knights, and so is Tim of those light cav and a couple of knights thrown in. And there's not enough pikes here to deal with this. They haven't got any armor or any extra base attacks, so they're going to get picked off here, and then this could be the end of Chris's army. It's going to get a little problem now for him because there's a lot of knights on the field. And I don't think skirms are going to be that much needed because look, you got Whoops making knights, bloody Tim's making knights / light cab. I mean, also we've seen 5CM go for a stable. The only one that's making arch units right now is CL. So you can probably tone down a little bit on the skirm front and just focus now on pike building a little bit more and get those upgrades.
Yeah, I think Chris did some great damage with that trash army, and now it is time for him to retreat home. He's still got a big military, 44 units. Needs to, like you said, transition into many more pikes than skirms. But I think he will. I think that's going to be an easy decision for him. 5CM is now castle dropping that little opening that they have. Looks like we got Mentalist trying to run in and build a gate at some point, but that's probably not going to happen. Castle looks like it's going to go up. Hera's here, but he can't get in to stop that castle right now.
Oh, castle down from Mentalist though. Is that in range though? He has to have Bodkin for this to be effectively ranged to those villagers. I don't think that's in range, but. Anyway,
no, it's not. I don't think.
Good response though from Hera and Slam to try and put the pressure on here, try and whittle this down. Oh, but look at that! Like a potential gate here from Mentalist. He wants a gate in front of the gate of 5CM. If he can pull that off, that help plug the gap, or stop the bleed to a degree.
Yeah, absolutely. But can he pull it off? Is the big question. I'd be really doubtful. Castle is up now, and the Knights are walled out for the moment of stopping the blue players' villagers from just continuing their reign of terror. Just towers. Most of those towers are still up, and actually CL has reinforced those towers with a couple more castles. So he's building plumes from a few castles that are taking over what was Mentalist's economy. It would be nice to have this initial TC, but that is now gone for Mentalist. Mentalist is in a really, really rough spot, I would say. First player up to Castle Age, has 4 town centers, but he's just been harassed relentlessly for a long time. And we're going to have to see him switch into military production here soon. He's got to help his team.
It's not all bad. He's obviously Imperial Age. He's got 88 villagers. He's actually got the most on Canada, despite sustaining this amount of pressure. He was up first, I believe, though, so that kind of has helped him a little bit. But, and of course, the Keltwood economy is just, again, another real big beneficiary of this. So I don't know if he got a sling or not. Oh, the sling's actually pretty badly nerfed, isn't it? So probably not. This is good. Like, all he has to do is just get a bit more backup from Hera and Slam, which he will do. They're going to come over and definitely assist. Then he has to get, what, 2 Trebs, and then he's also got some Siege Workshops behind this as well. A couple of Rams maybe on top of it. Bob's your uncle. And there's not much that 5CM can really do about it. And there's not enough firepower either from the Chinese team to stop it. So they just got to coordinate, and then that's it. Easy game.
I didn't realize that that English people really said Bob's your uncle. I thought that was just an Austin Powers thing.
Yeah, I swear it was an English phrase, but anyway.
I'm watching Chris with his trash army coming across the map, trying to take over a little bit of pressure. Turning into a really interesting game. Scores are essentially identical. As you said, Imperial Age for Mentalist will be in first. He's got to hold the line and stop the bleeding until then. What's up? What are you looking at?
On the left-hand side, CL, it's up to Imperial, but he's managed to punch through that wall left, thanks to the battering ram, probably a petard thrown in as well. Yeah, it looks like a petard. The other one's got a half-blown wall. He's going to drop a cast probably on that left-hand side, and then this is where it now gets really tricky, because he's got that cast in the front to deal with. He's got probably a potential cast. Oh my god, yeah, right there. Oh my goodness. So he needs to get Onager, definitely Onager for first. He needs to back up here from Slam and Hera. And Slam, he's got a cast down already, and he's Mongol, so Mangadai are going to be coming out. This is where it's all going to pin down on. Like, Mentalist is sandwiched in between 2 castles. Yeah, and he's going to need everything to help him out here, because...
The interesting thing, though, is that Mentalist is up to Imp, and his castles are almost already in range of the castle being dropped by CL, right? So, in theory, he could start trebbing down. CL at the moment is Imp, though, so CL can build some trebs of his own. Only 1 castle to do so. Blue player is probably nowhere near castle. I wouldn't have... Imp, I should say.
He actually has 2. The other one's actually not by the wall. It doesn't take that far for the treb to come over. So I
there's another one by the wall.
2 trebs.
Yeah. Indeed.
But there will be a small delay in that on arriving, I'll give you that, so...
Yeah, a bit of a treb war going to be going down here pretty soon. We'll have to keep our eyes on that. We've kind of neglected the Hera side of the map. Go ahead.
I really love what Mentalist is doing. He's saying, screw the Spanish castle, and it makes perfect sense. Like, there's no threat from that castle except the conquistadors, which can be managed by those Word Raiders a little bit, and of course the Knights. So he's focusing right now on that main castle on the left. And this is so huge, because down, That is going to be such a good relief on the pressure. And these trebs can't be focused down particularly easy. Not a lot of conquistadors, and there's not a lot of plumed archers, and plumed archers just do nothing. Like, not that much to the treb itself. So he's got 3, we have what, 4 or 5 trebs out, and then how do you keep a main castle up with 4 or 5 trebs?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking might happen here. You might double down on this castle. 3 trebs is too much. That castle will drop in just a moment. The treb war is not really a treb war. It's both players are focusing on getting castles. We will see Mentalist pack those up and maybe go to the north and kill the blue castle next. Mentalist castle is still under pressure for now, and he does not have an ability to stop his opponent from trebbing him for infinity, but he might get a little help from Slam here in the long run. Slam had some knights earlier. I haven't been looking much inside the ring, but I'm still seeing Chris keeping a couple of players pretty busy here. He's going to have his teammate Hera now up to Cavalier, but Chris has been fighting in the middle with Trash and harassing Tim and his teammate Whoop for quite some time.
Yeah, this is just so action-packed to the south, kind of getting a little bit to the north, but yeah, this castle looks like it's going to stay up. I mean, there's not much more else that 2 trebs can do. He needs like 4 trebs for it to be successful.
Yeah, and Onager in as well for Mentalist.
Yeah, that's expected to get Onager, but the knights there have picked off 1 already. A bit annoying there.
Yeah, Treb goes down as well. Another Treb's probably going to go down here. This is not going so well for Mentalist. He's actually going to lose all of his Trebs and both of his Onagers there. Needs his teammate Slam to help him out, or at least Chris. Somebody's got to come over and help.
It's unfortunate, but if I'm honest, if I was Mentalist, I would be okay. Because the biggest threat so far has been taken away to a degree. That castle there, taken care of. There's now another one not too far away, which is now the next problem to deal with, but like it could have gone so much worse for him. So he has to get those trebs back out again. And again, he also has Slam's castles not too far away, so again, more trebs will be coming out for him. They have to focus now on Frantic's 5CM's castle a little bit now, because, well, Slam should anyway. So they can close this gap. There's just plumes just running through as well as bloody knights. That's just so annoying. And a goal that can't be touched as well for Mentalist.
Yeah, and CL continues to pour on the pressure with more Trebs, another castle coming. Mentalist is certainly going to lose his castle on this side. Slam's got Mangadai here. Mangadai at the moment somewhat upgraded, but Slam is, well, Slam's Imp, but they are not elite at the moment. Slam with a couple of Knights as well, +2 defense and Bloodlines, but does not really have the army to run in and take down these Trebs from the purple player CL. In the middle of the ring, we've also got Absolute Chaos. We still have Hera and the Trash Army from Chris pushing in against the orange player Whoop and his teammate Tim. Pretty good progress, I'd say, there, but nothing incredibly meaningful. Nobody's been knocked out yet.
Oh my god, Chris has 92 military, and look at Whoop! He just, like, those Cav Archers, they just got destroyed. Which I like to point out, Cav Archer is a bit of a questionable move, but it's actually a really difficult game, I think, here for Whoop, because it's kind of like, wow, I'm against a Byzantine player who has 92 military. If I go Cav Archer, well, the Elite Scum have kind of got me there. If I go Paladin, and maybe a slightly better choice, but there's also the Halberdier that's so cost-effective against those Paladins. And now look at Hera, like Cat Ram's coming forward, probably I would imagine at some point be Siege Ram. Just gonna start pushing on Tim. This is bad for China. Like I can't see them at this point winning the game because Tim. By the time that CL and Whoop make their way across to basically Mentor's economy, they're just taking down one castle. I think Tim is gonna get destroyed, and Whoop's also in big trouble as well. So something has to happen here to try and force the other side away.
Initially, my instinct would have been to disagree with you, but I do like the way that Slam and Mentalist do have a pretty good unit composition to deal with what Whoop and CL will be sending their way. I think that Mangadai and Knights should be able to counter the couple of Knights that are here, and of course these plumes are going to be really well countered by Onagers. So we'll see how this fight goes down. Brief pause in the game for a moment. I do like your point about the Rams starting to roll in. Tim, at the moment, in case you're out there wondering, has 7 military units. His teammate Whoop, who's right next to him, has 27, but Whoop is a little bit more spread out across the map. He's kind of been a mercenary, helping each of his friends a little bit here, a little bit there. So this push from Hera and Chris, like you said, could be really effective. I guess we'll find out after a brief pause. Well, one of these players inevitably has to pee, I would guess.
Yeah, man. That's always a problem, man, when you need to pay during a game. And if you think about it as well, a lot of Tim's base is actually here. It's not at the back, like let's say Slam. Slam's most of his economy at the back. Same for Mentalist. Similar-ish right now for Chris, and same for Hera. They've all managed to expand towards the back rather well, where I don't think the Chinese team, except for CL and possibly 5CM, have actually expanded towards the back as efficiently as the Canadian team. And then this is also paying dividends. Oh, there's a gate open here. Oh, great move by Hera, just attacking it so it keeps it open. And that's just going to allow those Cavaliers to come in up at the top by where Whoop is.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Beautiful.
Look at all these juicy villagers. I mean, there's a dozen Cavalier, and he's still keeping one right at the gate to keep that open. Conquistador's coming from the blue player to try to close it, but it's a lot of damage that's going to come down.
Yeah, he will lose that Cavalier now, but yeah, just let them in. That's just so many balls just going down. That's just a headache itself.
Yeah.
Look at Look at Chris, man. He's still in Castle Age, but he has a higher score than Mentalist, and he's just rolling with it.
Well, Chris's trash and the Rams of Hera are a really difficult thing to try to deal with. What unit are you going to try to send to to stop that?
I mean, he's 195 pop. God, he's build a house. Max 200 out in Castle Age, please. Oh man, is this like the first time I've ever seen a professional game, like in a long time, where I've seen a player who in Castle Age max out on 200 pop in the Castle Age? That's non-Huns. That's not Huns.
Tim is losing tons of villagers on a castle in the north. He'll get it completed in the end, but he'll be down to 86 vills, 3 military for Tim. Those Cavalier are actually getting cleaned up, but they did do quite a lot of damage. There was 10, I would say, Cavalier. They probably killed at least 25 villagers. Siege Ram is in. Rams are rolling forward for Hera. He's still got that mass of humanity in front of him, which is Chris's army. Like you said, 112 units, just an absolutely ridiculous amount of units. Treb War is still happening, but Siege Onager is in for the Teal player. He's going to roam forward and actually take down a couple of the Trebs from CL. And this could be the beginning of the end. That flank needs to be, it needs to be won by the Frantic team. It can't be, you know, squabbled over. They need to win that immediately, and they just don't have the wind to do it right now.
Yeah, it's just so difficult. Because on this south side now, how do they stop it? I mean, Eagles, maybe, but there's so much Mangadai right now out there, and also there's also a few Knights sitting behind. And I imagine as well, Mensis will start pumping out those Woe Raiders. Then you're gonna okay, Cavalier. Good luck with that, son. Blue Batches, yeah, they're gonna get destroyed by the Siege Onager. This is a death ball right now. I just cannot see right now this south side winning it, let alone the north side, where MVP Chris, I could love him. Excuse my language, but
no, it's fine. That's encouraged here on the channel. Yeah, I mean, for now they're walled out. The orange player here dropping some barracks. Whoop is trying to hold the line with his teammate Tim. They need to find a way to hold the line for quite some time, and they're going to do it with a couple of layers of stone walls. Like you said, it's not going so great. A little bit of raiding from the orange player with some Cavalier into Mentalist economy, but it's not going so great on this flank anymore for CL and his opponent 5CM. 5CM has just been too quiet for too long. He was just so deep into that tower push and castle dropping. I haven't seen a lot of units from him, and here comes Siege Onagers roaming forward. Trebs are unpacking. There are 6 Trebs out here for the Teal player Mentalist, and he's going to knock down this entire part of the map. Needs to solidify this corner so that they can trade corner to corner here on the bottom for the Canadian team. The SY team has the other 2 corners. They are dropping markets as well. Plenty of gold left to mine, but players are getting their economies in order, and here come Paladins and trash through those walls.
Oh.
Paladin from Hera, trash from Chris, roaming through. Chris is still in the Castle Age, but he's still pop-capped for the most part. Somewhere around 200, I should say.
Oh, that's really weird. Like, the overlay doesn't show up, but it's actually gone to Imperial Age. It's actually 40% up, but something's gone wrong with the On mine anyway.
Yeah,
it must
mine
have
as
been
well.
so many researchers. His just got moved up and away. Probably with so many going on. But he's actually 47%. I thought he picked up. I saw it earlier.
So
but yeah,
yeah,
he's halfway up.
But he and his teammate Hera here starting to roam into the juicy part of this economy. And we were talking about trade. You can't trade if the middle of your trade route is just covered with units, covered with skirms and pikes. So it's looking really bad on that side. Teal players still rolling forward with all those trebs. Slam hasn't been able to get a lot of kills with his Mangudai, but he's holding the line with Mangudai and basically convincing his opponents not to even dare try it. Siege Onagers knocking down wood lines. SOs are starting to multiply, 5 of those out for the Teal player, and now both flanks are being won by Canada.
Oh my god, there's just so much siege. Like, I can that many trebs, I could probably take out a castle in one hit, would you say? Would you say that many trebs could take out a castle?
There's 8 trebs here, I believe.
Yeah.
It's a really ridiculous number. We've still got a big army from the purple player, CL. He's got quite a few elite plumes at this point, but what can you do versus Siege Onager and Mangudai with elite plumes? Not much. Castles are dropping. Stone walls are starting to multiply. Chinese players known for their ability to wall, but what are you walling in now? You're basically walling yourself into 25% of the map, losing a lot of map control. Paladin has come in from 5cm. He was quiet for a long time, and now he is trying to make a big impact on the other side, giving his teammates time to stonewall up. Those are fortified walls. And for now, Chris will retreat, but just remember, the Canadian team kind of owns the inside of the ring, most of it, and they own most of the outside of the ring. So China is in a lot of trouble right now, but this bit of walling, I think, is absolutely pivotal for China to not give GG right now.
Yeah, and they really need Tim to get into the game. Like, he's probably the one that's lacking the most here. 116 pop, 98 bills. Okay, not too bad in the bill front, but he has just started, I swear to God, to get those Mangudai up and rolling. And here's the bigger problem. Look at this trade line. Look where it's, because of the walls up top and everything, they're going straight through just by the wood line, essentially. Very easy to raid. Like, all it would take was one SO cut, gets the Mangudai in, and that's just over.
Yeah, and if you see, Mentalist has one Siege Workshop inside the ring, and that he did send an SO forward. He's just going to keep cutting through the ring and keep penetrating into his opponent's side. So it's going to be really, really tough. The trade has started for China, but I think they're going to have a lot of trouble keeping it safe, like you said. Market's coming down right now. It looks like the Teal player will TC this corner, but nice bit of walling, very cheeky walling from 5cm to wall in those first couple markets from Teal. He's basically just trapping the trade carts early on here and stopping the trade with any means necessary. But look at this, that cut we talked about. Mentalist is cutting through the northern part. Outpost is coming up there for Hera. Armies should spill through there pretty soon. SO's absolutely doing work right now.
Does Tim see that though? Like, he's got the Mangudai in the area, unless they want to go to the right and try and push the right-hand side. Yeah, he's going to try and push the right-hand side here. 2 siege workshops coming up. There's only just a small thin layer of stone wall, which might not even matter because I think that stone pile might run out by that time. But that's kind of like, I feel like that's a sort of Hail Mary play. They've got to throw that in, see if they can just destroy something. Problem is though, by the time that this gets found out, they have to go all the way to the bottom of the map to get to the trade, and I think there'll be plenty of time for Canada to react to that. So
Hera's trying to drop a castle right in that cut. So he's pushed, he's had the Siege Onager cut from Mentalist. He's dropping a castle. The trash is now Halbs and Elite Skirms for Chris, and Paladin are starting to roam through that gap as well. Castle looks like it will go up, and this is going to be a really tough foothold for them to stop. The Chinese team's in a lot of trouble now.
Oh, look at these skirms.
Ridiculous number of skirmishers here.
So efficient. They're just so efficient. Bam. One goes down. Bam.
Yep, and now Chris will drop barracks all around that castle and continue to just spam in that beautiful Byzantine trash. So the Byzantine choice from Chris seems to be paying off. The cutting continues from Mentalist. The GG, though, will come in from Frantic, and we will see this set tied 1-1. Any final thoughts about that game, Milmano?
Oh, well, that's kind of standard, your standard chaos. Pretty hectic. A lot of stuff going that we didn't even get to see, but it was really good actually. I really enjoyed this one. A lot of pressure on Canada for a good part of that game by the Chinese, but you know, that sort of part late game came through, and also I think just generally the Canadian team all played very well. Like, I think Mantis, despite making that huge error, I think she pulled through very well. Chris, you gotta give that man like a medal because, oh, that kid did something that
Chris doing work.
Would have done.
Chris is
doing work, man.
I think Chris is formerly the highest rated 1v1 player on Age of Empires, right? Is that true? I think for a while he held that. And he's showing his skill here and representing his country well. GGs have come in for 3 of the players, but Whoop has not resigned yet. Not exactly sure if that's an accident. There you go. Whoop will resign. And we will jump out of here and quickly look